What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Madden 17 commentary. Do me a favor, take a moment, hit the like button, subscribe button, criticism in the comment section. As always, run over to Twitter. My username is ShutdownSafety. Want to go through every team this year, connected franchise, because it is getting the biggest reboot ever, and kind of go through my opinion on each team and see where you guys stand. Also love to know your opinions if you use these teams, if you agree or disagree with my changes. I'm going to start with one of the best teams in the NFL, in my opinion, the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously going 14-2 last year, at times appeared to be one of the best teams in the NFL, but just as the year prior, it was a Carson Palmer injury that kind of set things in motion for the Cardinals to fall off. Now they've went out, they've added some key players like Evan Mathis, Chandler Jones, Tyron Branch. They've lost some key players though. Massey, Cooper on the line. You've got Gerard Powers and Johnson out in the secondary. But on the ground offensively, they're still in a very good place with David Johnson. He's proved to be a home run threat. He filled in for a revived Chris Johnson last year. You know, obviously we talked about Carson Palmer. He's got some Hall of Fame talent with Larry Fitzgerald. Also has Malcolm Floyd and one of the league's most underrated stars, in my opinion, John Brown. When you look at the Cardinals' defense, though, it did struggle a little bit with pass rush, and I think the trade for Chandler Jones is going to do a great boost to that. You also look at Robert Nkemdiche, who joins Calais Campbell, who's been a mainstay on that line, but also a really good player for many years. The secondary should benefit here. You've got the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, coming back from a torn ACL. And Patrick Peterson, you know, had that rough 2014 with the diabetes, but last year he really bounced back. There's no reason to think he's not going to be an absolute killer this year. Now, you bring in, like we talked about, Tyron Branch. He's a solid addition. He really is. He's not the star power, but you're not going to get that star power really in the free agency all that often. Deone Bucannon currently in that hybrid role that allows him to cover tight ends, but a little bit of a struggle with the run. When you look at other linebackers like Kevin Minter, you know, I'm a big fan of Kevin Minter. I think he's a great linebacker, but he proved to kind of be a weak spot as well. As far as growing this team, the first spot that I would look to would be the defensive backs. Brandon Williams is a player they just drafted, but he's also a converted halfback. I think there's going to be some learning curve there, and you don't want that learning curve to be when he's out on the field in a nickel position when you're maybe on a 3rd and long. You also have to think about looking ahead with this team. You know, unless you're going to extend the contracts of Floyd right now, this is going to be his last year. You also have to consider Larry Fitzgerald is probably going to retire. This is going to leave you with John and Jaron Brown, who are both solid options, but I think you'd be best served to go out and get a tall receiver, somebody to keep the speedier John Brown in the slot where he'll do the most damage. And in that same light, looking ahead, you've also got to think about Carson Palmer. You know, one more injury, and he may be out of the league. You also have to think about your backup right now, 10 years in the league on his own, Drew Stanton. He's a quality backup, of course, but is he going to be the answer going forward? Is that going to be Jay Coker, who you just drafted, or do you need to go find someone or start to work with him? Because clearly someone has to be the backup if it's not him, and obviously you're going to have to get a fill-in starter. So that would be my opinion on the Arizona Cardinals and Madden 17. I would love to know how you guys feel about this, and I'll be back in the week with more content.